Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at Creative's new and improved Creative Zen Hybrid. Automatic noise cancelling for the masses. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so on today's video we'll be taking a look at the Creative Zen Hybrid. This is a ANC headset, Bluetooth enabled, and comes in at a particularly keen price at the moment. This, at the moment, is actually a really good price in the UK. There is an offer on currently, as of the time of recording, which is towards the middle of August 2022, and you can pick these up for somewhere around this £60 mark, which actually puts it into direct competition with a lot of other very popular headsets on the market. So we're going to take a look at these today, see the pros, the cons, and see if they're going to be suitable for you. We'll also go through, do an unboxing, see what you get, see what you don't get, and also see what the pros and cons are of the headset itself. It is a relatively cost-effective option, but clearly you want to know the ins and outs of it, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, looking at the packaging. Now actually when you receive these, you'll be quite surprised. I actually opened this box and I thought, how is there going to be a headset in there? That's not going to fit on my head. It's a very small box. But the beauty of these is they actually fold down really, really small. So for traveling, for being compact, putting into even a pocket, a backpack, that kind of thing, very simple to do. Now these are actually designed as being your kind of everyday headphones. They're kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, arguably. They're not obviously the highest end headphones on the market due to their diminutive pricing, but they do pass the test in most instances in terms of compactness, comfort, lightweight, and also battery life. Anyway, looking at the packaging, so on the front there you can see, so this is the Zen Hybrid wireless over-ear headphones with hybrid active noise cancellation. So with the hybrid noise cancellation, what we've got is we've got three really distinct options. And the first one is ANC completely off. So this is your raw unadulterated audio coming straight through the cans, of which there are 40mm neodymium drivers in there, which actually have a frequency response between 20 and 20,000 Hertz. So absolutely fine there. Signal to noise ratio, we're about 75 dB. So could be doing a little bit louder. These are a little bit harder to drive than some of the other headsets I've used in the past, but certainly sound quality is excellent. The next mode is going to be your ANC on. So this is active noise cancelling. So if you've ever used noise cancelling headphones before, you kind of got an idea of what this is all about. They don't isolate the outside world entirely, but they do take out some of those long rumbling noises. So if you're sat next to maybe a noisy computer, a washing machine, you're traveling, you may be in a car, on a coach, train, that sort of thing, aeroplane, then it's going to take out some of that low level noise, and it reduces it by around about 40 dB, which is pretty good. The one thing where they do lack in is things like those sudden noises, which most headsets actually do struggle to keep up with. So a sudden clap, that sort of thing, or screeches, screams, that sort of thing. Most ANC headsets actually find those very difficult to deal with, but it does a relatively good job. Listening to the headset with things like fans going on the PC and even other things I've done, just around house doing a bit of DIY, even just washing my hands, you don't really hear the tap running, that sort of thing, so they do a pretty good job of isolation. The next option is the actual pass-through mode. So what this will do is you've got active noise cancelling on, but there's actually microphones built into the outside of the actual headphones themselves, so they'll take into account the outside noise and actually pump that in as well. So if you're in a area where maybe you're waiting for some sort of notification, maybe you're waiting for your train and you actually want to hear the noises come through, the announcements on the platform, that kind of thing, then you're going to be able to hear those. Or maybe you're just walking along the street and someone comes up to you you haven't seen for a while and they want to chat to you, press the button twice and it goes into kind of ambient or transfer mode, and then you can hear what people are saying without having to take off your headphones. So pretty cool. And going back to the actual headset itself, when it comes to active noise cancelling, you don't really need it on. They actually do have a really nice soft cushion around the outside edge there, which is coated in pleather, unfortunately, not fabric. So they actually do a really good job of isolation anyway, without ANC being turned on. Now you're probably asking yourself, Mike, ANC is great, but it destroys battery life. How do these compare? Well, actually pretty good. If you're using them in normal mode without ANC on, you can be looking at anywhere up to 40 hours of playback time. If you turn on ANC, depending on the mode, then realistically the minimum you're likely to get is somewhere in the region of about 27 hours. That is even with higher volume, so pretty decent battery life, and you'll probably find you're not needing to recharge these for maybe a couple of weeks. These are actually Bluetooth 5.0, so they do support things like AAC and SBC formats, but for those of you that maybe are a little bit lacking when it comes to recharging your batteries, then it does come with a really handy 3.5mm jack. Now the caveat to that, with the 3.5mm jack, it's kind of effectively in a passive mode, so you lose your obviously noise cancelling features, the ambient mode, and also you're going to lose access to the microphone, so it is purely headphones only when it's in wired mode. Even if the battery does go flat, it's not the end of the world. It does take a USB Type-C connection, you can see there, and that makes it really good for charging. Most devices these days and in future are likely to be looking at USB Type-C, so you should find a USB-C type port pretty much everywhere. It takes around about an hour and a half to fully charge the battery, which is great. But the one thing which is excellent, if maybe you're going out for a jog or you're just taking an unexpected trip and you realise they're flat, there is a 5-minute quick charge which will give you up to 5 hours worth of playback. Pretty awesome. So let's go through and take a look at what we actually get inside the box. So obviously going to get the headphones themselves, so that's expected. What isn't expected is this really nice travel bag. So you've got this nice velour type bag with a drawstring top, so you can chuck all your stuff in there, throw it in your bag, and it will keep the nice white plastics protected. If you're wondering, they do actually come in black as well, so maybe if white isn't your jam and you think they're going to get dirty, etc., then they do a black version as well. Same prices, same specs, etc., just purely a different colour. As you'd expect, being it is a set of headphones that are requiring charging, you do get a charging cable, again matching colours, so these come in white, so this is your USB Type-C to Type-A cable, and also there is the matching white cable for the 3.5mm jack, and that is TRS on both ends. When you take them out of the box, there is the README first, which is telling you to install the SXFi application, which kind of has limited use. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And there's also your quick start guide, which goes through and tells you about what all the buttons do. To be honest with you, it's very straightforward. We'll talk about those when we look at the features themselves. There's also a sharing is caring, or good things are meant to be shared, and a thank you for your order, etc. So basically, yeah, if you want to, if you buy these, you can actually post pictures using the hashtag on there, and potentially Creative may reach out to you to actually use your photography or videography in their promotional work, and potentially you may receive a free gift as well. Obviously, terms and conditions apply. So let's take a close look at the headphones themselves. So starting off, first thing you're probably going to notice is actually they're extremely lightweight. Now the reason behind that is because it's majority plastic. There is a little bit of metal actually in the band around the top, so there is an adjustable band metal through there, so that's all good. There is a kind of leatherette top section which matches the headband bit, so that's really nice and quite soft and flexible, very comfortable. The rest of it is all plastic, not much creaking, a little bit of noise for the rotation on the cups, but personally I'd rather have a little bit of noise there than not have the rotation. So these means they are ultimately extremely comfortable, not only due to the what I would consider excessive padding on the actual earpads themselves. There's also foam as well, so where you've got the left and right, as you can see there if I twist them out, so it does say left and right, and these bits here are actually super cushioned as well. Normally on those you'd get just a very thin kind of membrane, but these are actually super recessed. You can press down a good ½ an inch there. There is a load of padding there. So maybe if you have got slightly pointy out ears, that sort of thing, then even though these are technically over ear, then they're going to be extremely comfortable, as I found they were. Although the downside of that, because there is a lot of foam and a lot of padding, and this is a pleather effect, then sometimes, especially when it's getting warmer, as it is here in the UK at the moment, around about 30 degrees, you may find these getting a little bit on the sweaty side with prolonged use. So lots of adjustment. You can fold them right up, so they do compact right down, and there's lots of adjustment. So you've got not only the swivel, obviously you've got the fold as well, so yeah, very flexible. The headband itself, a lot of flex to it, not that you're likely to do that in a million years. The only thing you do, obviously if you do that, it does crumple the top section a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Something which I feel they've probably done a little bit too much of, but you may like this, you may not, and that is the accents on the side of the cups. So there's loads of writing on there all the way around in a rose gold effect, which kind of ties in with Creative's kind of orange and white, just because rose gold isn't a million miles off from orange. It's almost a bronzy sort of colour. You also see on the outside there is the ANC microphone holes there, and that is on both sides. And there's also ones on the inner side as well, which actually listen to what is being pumped through to work the ANC out to see which frequencies should be allowed and which ones shouldn't. So that's all very cool. Yeah, overall very nice, very lightweight, very comfortable. They are designed to be used pretty much all the time, so being lightweight and comfortable is pretty much one of those key things. Other key things of note is the control setup. So on the right hand side, just check, yes it is the right hand side, you've got your controls all on that side. So you've got your volume up and down. With those, just single press takes the volume up and volume down. Press and hold and it will skip or fast forward tracks depending on the app or whatever it is you're listening or watching. Next to that, there is a power button, simple to use. Press and hold, turn on, press and hold, turn off. Press it a couple of times and it will play pulls or answer calls, that sort of thing, a couple of taps. You get the idea, it's the usual sort of thing, very easy to do. Next to that, you've got the 3.5mm headset jack, which I said about before. There's also a tiny little hole there for the microphone, and also there is a tiny little hole next to that for the LED, so that tells you whether it's connecting, paired, etc, etc. It will flash red when you turn it off, flashes blue when it's active or pairing, that sort of thing. And next to that, you've got your magical ANC button, so again, just press that and you can cycle through the mode. So press it once, turns it on, press it again, turns it off, press it twice and it goes into pass-through or ambient mode. So yeah, very simple, very easy to do. On the side there is the USB Type-C jack, as we said, and there's also an LED there, so it tells you exactly what's going on. When the light goes green, you're fully charged, ready to go. When it's red, it means it's charging. If you're actually using them and you're out and about and they start flashing red, it means time to charge the batteries. Okay, so with all that said, comes down to the ultimate thing. What are they actually like and how well do they work? So let's get the negatives out of the way first of all. Creative SXFi, the application, is a mess. Let's be honest. I think anyone who's actually used it before will find that it's just a horrendous thing. And if you go to the Microsoft Store and look at the SXFi app, it's currently a 1-star rating. And with good reason. It basically doesn't work with Windows PC. On the other hand, if you go over to the App Store or the Play Store for Android users, download the SXFi app, it actually doesn't work too badly at all. One of the major downsides of the app is the fact that audio, video, etc. only works within the app. So you do have to have the physical content actually on your device, which in the days of modern streaming and all that kind of stuff, Netflix, all that kind of thing, YouTube clearly, you don't have content on your phone. It's a very rare thing these days and it takes up so much room. So I think they really need to look at that to make the SXFi app integrate better with headsets and handsets. So I'm not sure what they need to do to get it to work on Android or Apple. I'm sure there must be a way of doing it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Something else to bear in mind is obviously these do support SXFi, which is what we've just talked about in the app. Now SXFi, if you've not used it before, is a somewhat magical being. It takes a picture of your ear and it looks at your ear, the shape, the canal, etc. on both sides, and obviously the shape of your head as well. And it uses an algorithm to work out how to make the sound the best it possibly can for you. Now actually it does make a significant difference, and actually with my SXFi Air headset, which I had ages ago, I still love that thing. The sound quality with SXFi enabled is fantastic. It does bring audio to life. But the one thing which still exists is the fact that it doesn't work outside of the app, which I think in modern days is pretty unforgivable. Again, let me know what you think in the comments section. Outside of the application, I've got no real complaints here. The only thing I would say, if you're a bass junkie, the bass is a little bit flat. Now you can download and install equalizers, etc. on either your Windows device or even on your handsets, tablets, etc. to change what the frequencies come out like. As standard, for me, I think it is a little bit on the flat side. Volume gets nice and loud, so no problems there. But I really do think it could do with sounding a little bit more alive. And actually, if you've used SXFi and then you have to go outside of the application to listen to other audio, you notice immediately how kind of enclosed the sound feels. So it's just a massive shame that SXFi doesn't work outside of the application itself. When it comes to the built-in microphone, I'll give you a test of that now. I did a little recording just before we started filming this, so you can hear what that sounds like. We'll take a listen to that now. Okay, so this is a sound test of the Creative Zen Hybrid. Currently doing a recording on my iPhone, and it is in the highest settings it possibly can. 16-bit audio only when it comes to the microphone, so it kind of is what it is, but it's going to be fine for things like Skype calls and obviously telephone calls as well. Don't think it's going to be quite up to broadcast quality, so if you're streaming, that sort of thing, then probably not worth using this. Probably want a separate microphone, but for playing games with your friends, I think it's going to be absolutely fine. So there you go. Microphone is totally acceptable. It actually sounds better when I listen back to it than what it did at the time, if that makes any sense. So I was probably a little bit negative towards it. It doesn't sound as bad as I thought it did. It sounds pretty reasonable, to be honest with you, and you probably could use it for content creation at a push. Obviously, most content creators want to push the envelope when it comes to audio quality, so using a separate mic is clearly going to be the better way forward. But in a pinch if you have to, or if you're just playing games online, maybe using it for Discord chat, Skype, Zoom, those kinds of things, it's going to be absolutely fine. And clearly, being that this is connected to your mobile device, if you need to take that telephone call whilst you're waiting for your train or on the airplane, then there's going to be no problems at all. So anyway, overall, I think for the current retail price, or the current promo retail price, I should say, of $59.99 here in the UK, I still think there's a little bit of room for improvement. If they could drop down a little bit more to below that magical £50 mark, I think they'd have a very, very serious competitor on their hands. When you just pop up maybe just an extra £10, it does make a difference in the current market. It is very crowded with headsets. And at the normal retail price of $99.99, I feel there are much better options available on the market. Anyway, that's been my thoughts and overview of the Creative Zen Hybrid. Certainly, I would consider it a work in progress. Hopefully, they can do something with the SXFi app to integrate it on a tighter level with both Windows, PC, and obviously your Android or iOS devices. I think that would be an absolute game changer because SXFi, when it works amazingly. Anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.